There is a Toyota feature so useful, so absurdly simple, that dealerships have charged hundreds of dollars to install something your car already has built in from the factory. It is not aftermarket. It is not a hack. It is a real function engineered into your Toyota's body control module, and most owners will never know it exists because nobody, not the salesperson, not the service advisor, not even the owner's manual in plain language, ever bothered to tell you. We are talking about the one-touch auto window function, and what Toyota buried inside it goes far deeper than just rolling windows up and down. Once you understand how this system actually works, how to unlock it, reset it, and use it in ways Toyota never advertised, your entire experience with your car changes. And the reason dealerships do not want you to know is simple. Every time you walk in confused, they make money. Every time you walk in informed, they lose a sale. So let us make sure you never pay for something your Toyota already gave you. Let's start with what Toyota actually built into your windows and why almost nobody uses it. The one-touch auto window feature allows you to fully raise or fully lower a window with a single short press of the switch. No need to hold it down the entire time. On most Toyota models, the driver's window comes with this function active from the factory. But here it gets interesting. On many Corollas, Camrys, RAV4 models, Highlanders, and even Tacomas, the passenger windows also support one-touch operation, either from the factory or through a simple initialization process. Toyota never clearly explains. The system works through the power window master switch on the driver's door and is controlled by the body control module, the same computer that manages your locks, interior lights, and keyless entry. Each window motor has a position memory that tracks where fully open and fully closed are. When that memory is set correctly, the module allows one-touch operation because it knows exactly where to stop. When that memory is lost, which happens more often than you would think, the feature quietly disappears and most owners just assume their car never had it. Now here's the part that costs people real money. Every time the battery is disconnected, replaced, or drained completely, the window position memory resets. This is a deliberate safety feature Toyota engineered into the system. Without accurate position data, the body control module cannot safely operate the auto reverse function, which is the pinch protection that stops the window from closing on a hand, an arm, or a child's fingers. Toyota would rather disable the convenience feature entirely than risk an injury from a window that doesn't know where it is. That logic makes perfect engineering sense. But the problem is what happens next. Owners notice the one-touch function stopped working and immediately assume something broke. They bring the car to the dealership. The service advisor runs a quick diagnostic, sees nothing wrong, and tells the owner the window motor or master switch needs recalibration. Sometimes they'll call it a software update. Sometimes they'll say the switch assembly needs replacement, and the bill lands somewhere between $150 and $400 for a fix that takes less than 60 seconds and costs absolutely nothing. The reinitialization process is the same across nearly every Toyota model that supports auto windows, and it requires no tools, no computer, and no appointment. Start with the ignition on, engine running, or in accessory mode. Lower the window completely using the switch, and hold the switch in the down position for 2 to 3 seconds after it reaches the bottom. Then raise the window completely, and hold the switch in the up position for 2 to 3 seconds after it reaches the top. That pause at the end is critical. It tells the body control module to register the new endpoints. Once the module confirms the full travel range, one-touch operation comes back immediately. Some models require you to repeat this process for each window individually from the driver's master switch. Others only need the driver's window recalibrated before the rest follow. Either way, the entire process takes under a minute per window, and the result is identical to what the dealership would charge you a shop visit to perform. But the reinitialization trick is only the beginning. Toyota also built a remote window function into many key fobs that almost no one uses. This feature genuinely changes how you interact with your car on hot days. By pressing and holding the unlock button on your key fob for several seconds, many Toyota models will automatically roll down all 4 windows. The system is controlled through the same body control module, and it is designed specifically for heat management. When a car sits in direct sunlight, cabin temperatures can exceed 140 degrees Fahrenheit. That heat does more than make the car uncomfortable. It accelerates aging of dashboard plastics, degrades adhesive bonds on trim pieces, stresses the air conditioning compressor, and can even damage electronics in the center console. Toyota's remote window down function allows the cabin to vent before you ever open the door. By the time you sit down, the interior temperature has already dropped significantly, and the air conditioning system does not have to work nearly as hard to cool the cabin. That means less strain on the compressor, less fuel burned running the air conditioning at full blast, and a longer life for the evaporator and condenser. It is not a luxury feature. It is a thermal management strategy built into a $2 key fob button. Now, some Toyota models also support the reverse, a remote window up function activated by pressing and holding the lock button. This is where things get particularly useful. Imagine you have parked, walked into a store, and suddenly realize you left a window cracked. Instead of walking back, unlocking the car, starting the ignition, and raising the window manually, you simply hold the lock button from across the parking lot. The windows close, the doors lock, and your car is sealed. This function works through the same body control module, and it relies on the same position memory that powers the one-touch feature. If your windows were recently reset using the reinitialization process, remote up and remote down both work reliably. If the memory was lost from a dead battery and never recalibrated, the remote function silently fails, and you would never know it was supposed to work because there is no error message, no warning light, and no indication that anything is missing. This is exactly why so many Toyota owners believe their car simply does not have these features. The system is there, the hardware is there, the software is loaded, but without the memory calibration, it all sits dormant, waiting for a 60-second reset that no one ever told you to perform. If you made it this far, then consider liking this video, giving it a thumbs up, and subscribing to my channel. This helps me bring you more honest car advice. There is another layer that most people completely overlook, and it directly affects safety. Toyota's auto window system includes a built-in anti-pinch sensor that detects resistance during closing. If the window encounters an obstruction, for example, a hand or a bag strap, it automatically reverses direction to prevent injury. This system is not optional. It is a federal safety requirement on auto-closing windows in the United States, governed by FMVSS 118. Toyota meets this standard through a current sensing mechanism inside the window motor. When the motor detects a spike in resistance that exceeds a calibrated threshold, the body control module commands an immediate reversal. Here is the critical point. That calibration depends entirely on the position memory being accurate. If the window memory is cleared and never reset, the anti-pinch function may not operate correctly because the module does not know where the window is in its travel range. This means a dead battery followed by a lazy reset is not just a convenience problem. It is a safety problem. The one-touch feature disappearing is actually the body control module's way of telling you the calibration needs to be restored. Toyota disables the automatic function specifically because operating without accurate endpoints could compromise pinch protection. When you perform the reinitialization, you are not just getting your convenience feature back. You are restoring a federal safety system to full operation. That information is worth more than any dealership diagnostic fee. Let's also talk about what happens when the system truly fails, because not every auto window problem is a memory reset issue. If you have performed the initialization correctly multiple times, and the one-touch function still will not return, there are a few real mechanical causes worth understanding before you hand over your credit card at the service counter. The first is a failing window regulator. Toyota window regulators use a cable-driven system on most modern models, and over time the cables can stretch, fray, or bind inside the guide channels. When this happens, the motor has to work harder to move the glass, which increases current draw and can trick the body control module into thinking there is an obstruction. The system then refuses to enable auto mode because it interprets the resistance as a safety concern. The second possible cause is a worn window motor. Toyota motors are durable, but after 10 or 15 years of daily use, internal brushes wear down, magnets weaken, and the motor can no longer deliver consistent speed across the full travel range. The body control module monitors motor speed during initialization, and if the speed profile does not match expected parameters, it rejects the calibration. The third cause, and this one is more common than people think, is a dirty or corroded master switch. The power window master switch on the driver door handles every signal for every window in the car. Moisture, dust, and years of finger oil can corrode the internal contacts, creating intermittent signals that confuse the module. A simple cleaning of the switch contacts with electronic contact cleaner has fixed auto window problems on more Toyotas than most technicians would admit. Before replacing any parts, always try the reinitialization, then check the switch, then inspect the regulator. That order alone could save you between $300 and $800 in unnecessary repairs. There is one more feature connected to this entire system that Toyota owners consistently miss, and it ties directly into long-term vehicle care. The body control module that manages your windows also manages your door lock timing, interior light behavior, and keyless entry sensitivity. When any part of this module loses its learned parameters, whether from a battery swap, a jump start, or even a prolonged parasitic drain, multiple features can behave strangely at the same time. Windows lose one touch. Doors may not auto-relock after 30 seconds. Interior lights might stay on longer than expected, and the key fob range can seem reduced. These symptoms look like 4 separate problems, but they often share a single cause. The module lost its baseline, and no one performed the relearn procedures. Toyota designed these systems to be owner-serviceable for a reason. They expected that battery disconnections would happen, that fobs would die, that power interruptions were part of normal ownership. The relearn procedures exist because Toyota engineers anticipated every one of these scenarios. The failure is not in the engineering, it is in the communication. Toyota built brilliant systems and then buried the instructions so deep that even trained service advisors sometimes do not know them. So here is what this all comes down to. Your Toyota's auto window system is not broken. It is not missing a feature. It is not in need of a dealer-only software flash. It is waiting for a 60-second calibration that restores convenience, unlocks remote operation, and reactivates a federal safety system. The dealership will never volunteer this information because a confused customer is a profitable customer. But now you know what your car can actually do, and more importantly, you know how to make it do it without spending a dime. If you are enjoying this video, consider watching the next one. In it, I am sharing more secrets Toyota dealerships do not want you to know.